What's good, everyone? It's the one and only NY Phenom. If you guys enjoy NFL, NBA content, want to see some gaming content in the near future, give this video a like. And if you're new, go and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. Now, let's go and get into this video. Alright, so it's another team preview, man. Another team preview in the AFC South, man. And as you guys can tell by the title, it's a 2019-2020 Houston Texans preview, man. And I'm not gonna, like I say all the time, man, I'm not gonna talk your heads off in the intro, man. We're just gonna go ahead and get into things and start previewing these teams. So, you know how we start off. We speak about the offense, man, and we're gonna speak about Deshaun Watson first. Last year, Deshaun Watson came back from the 2017 year, where in 2017 he looked exceptional, but of course, torn his ACL. There's a lot of questions. What was he going to be in 2018? Well, last year he showed up, and he showed up well, man. Threw for over 4,000 yards, had 26 touchdowns, had a 103.1 quarterback rating, and he threw only 9 interceptions. Believe he ran. Of course, he ran the ball pretty well, and the most important thing of the whole entire year last year was Deshaun Watson played all 16 games, man. Deshaun Watson is one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL, point blank, period. I mean, as I spoke about his passing ability, he also ran the ball for 500 yards last year and had 5 scoring touchdowns. And the impressive thing about all of that is he did all of that with one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL, maybe the worst offensive line in the NFL, which we'll speak on later on. But I mean, Deshaun Watson's the dude is the truth, man. He's possibly a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. If not, definitely top 15. He pretty much can do anything on the field, man. Anything on the quarterback spot, man. He's accurate. He can throw on the run. He can throw in the pocket. He can run. He's been working on his awareness. His awareness improved last year. But, you know, and this is just the beginning, man. This is just the beginning. He just has to stay healthy. And you know, I kind of worry for him about this offensive line, which we'll speak on. But there's really no questions about Deshaun Watson. I mean, he was one of the biggest reasons why the Houston Texans went 11-5 last year. He's the leader of this team, man. The future of this team. So, I mean, Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson. But we're going to speak about the running back position. Of course, the Houston Texans starting running back is Lamar Miller. And Lamar Miller is pretty decent, man. I actually think he's pretty underrated. I know a lot of people feel like he's not that good. Some people call him bums. And you guys know who you are. But Lamar Miller is not a bum, man. He's actually pretty good. And you got to remember, man, he did all of what he did last year on one of the worst offensive lines last year. I mean, this team had a top 3 worst offensive line, and he was still a Pro Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I don't even have the stats in front of me right now, but trust me, he did well. Like last year, he ran for. Hold on. Excuse me, y'all. But just getting the stats up. Yeah, he ran for 973 yards, had 5 touchdowns, and didn't fumble the ball once. You know, that's important, man. He didn't put the ball on the ground once, man. He's only put the ball once the past 2 seasons. So he's not a fumbling machine. He ran for 973 yards, had 5 touchdowns, and he caught 163 yards and had a touchdown receiving. So, I mean, Lamar Miller is a pretty solid running back. I mean, he's not the greatest. He's not a top 10 running back. I'm not even sure if he's a top I don't think he's a top 15 running back, but he's around that top 20 to 25 caliber. You know, he's a really solid running back, man. And you know, you just have to wonder though, can he produce the same this upcoming season with the offensive line that they have, man? You know, so of course, I mean, Lamar Miller's, I think he'll have a pretty decent season, have around 800, 900 yards. Played 14 games last year, so that's not that bad. Maybe he can have a 16-game season. We'll see. But, I mean, Lamar Miller's been a solid running back since Miami, so I should be expecting the same going into next season. Now, possibly the best player on this whole entire team, on the entire team, is DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is possibly the best wide receiver in the NFL. And, I mean, you can't speak about the Houston Texans without mentioning D-Hop, man. DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, this dude has some of the best hands that we've probably ever seen. Probably the best hands in the NFL. He can catch regular passes. He can catch in traffic. He can catch a spectacular pass. He doesn't have the best speed. He's not a speedy wide receiver. That's just not his strong suit. But, I mean, you don't have to have speed when you have great route running and have hands, top hands in the NFL. I mean, the dude is athletic. He's elusive when catching the ball, can make people miss. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is the truth, man. Like I said, possibly the best wide receiver in the NFL. You know, he doesn't have the big personality like a Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham, but trust me, he gets busy on that field, man. And D-Hop, when there's look, Madden is dropping 99 ratings. I'm pretty sure D-Hop is going to be that last 99 overall. I mean, D-Hop is the truth, man. But, I mean, for the other wide receiver positions, they're getting Will Fuller back, who's coming from a torn ACL. Will Fuller, we all know he's speedy, but he tore his ACL last year. He's coming back. And like I said with injuries, man, it usually takes them a year of full playing time, a full season, a full NFL season to get them back in their gear. So Will Fuller might not have the speed that he had in 2017, but he still should have enough speed to get past some secondary. So that's going to be huge. And then you got Kiki Kotuti. I just butchered the last name. I'm sorry, but he's projected to be the slot receiver. Shown a few promising things, but in my opinion, I felt that the Houston Texans should have either kept Demaryius Thomas or went after another slot receiver in free agency, whether that's an Adam Humphries, a Randall Cobb, a Cole Beasley. So I think all three of those players could have came in and did some work in the slot position. But that's just me. The wide receiver, when you got DeAndre Hopkins, I can't call the wide receiver position an issue. But besides DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, in my opinion, it's pretty much D-Hop or bust. Because Will Fuller, like I said, coming back from a torn ACL, and Kiki Kohute has to show something. So, I mean, it's D-Hop or bust, which is not the best position you want to be in. So, be expecting teams to come out doubling, triple teaming DeAndre Hopkins if the Houston Texans don't go after their receiver. Hey, Houston, why not go after someone like a Des Bryant? Just saying. Or Michael Crabtree. There's a few wide receivers still in the market. You guys need to go after one of those. Now, tight end is also a big hole in this team. I mean, you got Jordan Thomas, who, I mean, he's Jordan Thomas. He's, you know, they could have went after, in my opinion, their tight end. Why not go after Jared Cook? Why not go after, Benjamin Watson? Anybody that can come in and just be a reliable tight end. Because the tight end position is another hole, man. There's another hole in this spot. So, I'll be real. Don't know that much about Jordan Thomas, but he's going to have to prove something. Yeah, I mean, just the wide up position as a whole, I mean, it's an issue. I mean, besides DeAndre Hopkins, who, like I said, might be the best wide receiver in the NFL, I mean, after that, it's a big hole. I mean, Will Fuller coming back from a torn ACL. We know he has mad speed, but like I said, coming back from a torn ACL, he's most likely not going to have the same speed that he had in 2017 before the ACL injury. So the wideout position, I think they need to try to improve it as much as possible going into next season. But training camp is on the way, so this is looking like the wideout position going to next season. And then speak on the offensive line is, of course, the biggest hole in this team. I mean, this offensive line was bad. I mean, we all know about Deshaun Watson, his ribs being injured, injured so much that he couldn't even arrive on planes. I mean, I believe it was one game. Not sure what game it was, but he had to travel on a bus instead of plane because his ribs couldn't take all the damage that he was taking. And, like I said, Deshaun Watson, he scrambles out the pocket, and yes, that can affect the offensive line. Trust me, I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan, and I know that, Russell Wilson, he's been able, the past few years, known not to scramble as much and stay in the pocket, because that's what you have to do if you're an offensive lineman. But still, even though that Deshaun Watson is a scrambling quarterback at times, which he didn't scramble. He's not a scrambler. Like Deshaun Watson, he's still a passer first, but he likes to scramble. And I know that if you scramble, that doesn't help your offensive line out. But there's no way that Deshaun Watson should have been sacked 68 times last year. Deshaun Watson was sacked 68 times, man. Excuse me, 62 times. 62 times, excuse me. He was sacked 62 times going last season. That's an NFL high. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody should be sacked 62 times. And I'll be real. I'm not sure the Houston Texans improve this offensive line for real. Yeah, they brought in Matt Khalil, which, I mean, I guess he's going to come in and be a solid tackler. I mean, you take what you get, but, I mean, I don't expect him to be what Dwayne Brown was for the Houston Texans a few years ago. But, I mean, this is offensive line as a whole. I mean, it doesn't look that good. It really doesn't. I know they drafted an offensive lineman also. So, but, I mean, just the offensive line as a whole, I mean, it still doesn't look that good. It still looks like one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. And, look, it's not like the Houston Texans have a lot of weapons on the wideout position. Don't have a star running back. Like I said, Lamar Miller is solid, but he's not, in my opinion, a top 15 running back. Let's put it in Madden terms. In Madden terms, Lamar Miller is like an 82, 83 overall. Solid, but, just solid. So they're not going to really focus on Lamar Miller. I mean, it's going to be pretty much DeAndre Hopkins or bust. And it's going to be, can Deshaun Watson, can he play another 16-game season? I'm not really sure if he can. I mean, no fault to him, but this offensive line is just not good. And if Deshaun Watson is just going to keep on getting hit, I'm not sure if he can do what he did last season. So, teams are going to come out. They're going to focus on DeAndre Hopkins. They're going to try to take him out every single game. And they're going to force players like Will Fuller, Kiki Kuta, and, Jordan Thomas to beat them. And it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough on the offensive side. But, I mean, that's just a preview of the offensive side. Let's speak on the defense, man. And, of course, his defense is led by one of the best defensive players in this era. One of the best defensive players for the past, 7 to 8 years. I mean, J.J. Watt is that dude, of course. J.J. Watt has pretty much been the best defensive lineman since Aaron Donald. or ever since Aaron Donald came and pretty much taking the crown as best defensive lineman, I think J.J. Watt has shown that. I mean, he's still. I think a lot of people forget how good J.J. Watt was, man. Like, J.J. Watt is a monster. One of the best defensive linemen we ever seen to play this game. I mean, there's nothing that J.J. Watt can't do. He's one of the strongest, one of the most athletic, one of the biggest, can stop the run, can play the pass, one of the best pass deflectors that we ever seen. J.J. Watt can still do that. J.J. Watt for last year was healthy, so that's a good sign because, you know, J.J. Watt has been known to have some injury bugs, but I mean, as long as J.J. Watt is healthy, this defensive line is going to be fantastic. Now, the Houston Texans, they do run a 3-4, and they also have Brandon Dunn, who is really solid, and G.J. Redder, who's a young player that is also pretty solid. So this defensive line is going to be attacking the pass, man. They're going to be really solid. One of the most solid defensive line in the NFL. I mean, if you got somebody like a J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald, have a Cameron Jordan, or any of those top defensive linemen, your D-line is put in good position to succeed. And I expect J.J. Watt to come out and have a crazy season, man. Let's speak on this linebacking core. This linebacking core is actually pretty underrated. Now, we do know what's going on with Jadeveon Clowney. Of course, he's not happy being on the franchise tag, and this is possibly his last year with the Houston Texans. And you know how I feel, man. How I feel about it is, when you're supposed to be a contender team like the Houston Texans, they made the playoffs last year. You know, they made it to the wild card, lost in the wild card, but this is a playoff contender team, and when you're a playoff contender team, you don't want to have that many distractions going into the upcoming season. Like pretty much a Jadeveon Clowney not being happy because he's on the franchise tag, and you don't want to pay him max dollars. So there has been some talk that Jadeveon Clowney that could be traded. Now, I'm recording this video on July 11th, so from right now, Jadeveon Clowney has not been traded, but of course, the Houston Texans, they got rid of their GM, so who knows what they're going to do. But, I mean, we all know Jadeveon Clowney is a beast. You know, whether that's on the D-line or being an outside rusher, I mean, he can do pretty much anything that you need. He's going to be a monster as long as he's on this team. But who knows if he's going to be on this team going into the next season. And that's not what you want to hear if you're a Houston Texans fan. If you're a Houston Texans fan, you want to be certain that your top star players are going to be on your team ready to play in the upcoming season. So we'll see how that plays out. But this team also has Whitney Mercilus on the linebacker core. Super solid linebacker, one of the most underrated linebackers. Starting to get his props now. I believe he was a Pro Bowler last year. And the rest of the linebacker core, like Zach Cunningham and Benjic McKinney, they're all really solid. This linebacking core for right now is a really good linebacking core. Especially that's important when you're running a 3-4 defense, because when you run a 3-4 defense, you're counting on your linebackers to be really, really good. So, you know, one of the most, actually, I'll say one of maybe a top 10 linebacker core right now, as long as Jadeveon Clowney is here. Now, Jadeveon Clowney is traded going into this upcoming season, then I couldn't pick you guys in the top 10. I won't say you guys will have a terrible linebacking core, but the linebacking core definitely wouldn't be top 10. Around the top 15, top 20 is where I would pitch up. But right now, you got Clowney, you got Mercilus, and you got McKinney and Cunningham. Really, really, really good linebacking core. So the front seven looks stout. The front seven still looks stout. Definitely top heavy on the front seven. I mean, your front seven is pretty much up there with most of the top teams, top top defensive linemen and linebacking cores. I mean, it's up there with the best of them. But let's speak on the secondary. And this secondary was actually one of the weakest points last year. And they actually got rid of a lot of the talent that they had last year. Of course, they got rid of Tyrann Mathieu. That was a big one. But yeah, you guys lost to Tyrann Mathieu. You guys lost to Kareem Jackson. You guys lost even Kevin Johnson, who's gave you guys some good snaps. But, you guys brought in Tashawn Gibson, who has started the past 5 seasons with the Jaguars. So, he's going to come in, and he'll come in and be a solid safety. And then you guys also brought Jahlil Adai, who I believe played for the Chargers last year. So you brought in some depth. You got Justin Reed, Tashawn Gibson, and Jahlil Adai. So that's looking like the safety core right now. And then you guys also have, of course, Jonathan Joseph, who is getting up there in age. And then you guys brought in Bradley Roby. So, Jonathan Joseph, prime Jonathan Joseph was really good. Jonathan Joseph, we can make a case that Cincinnati Bengals Jonathan Joseph a few years ago, about 4 to 5, 6 years ago, was maybe a top 10 cornerback in the NFL. But of course, he's not that Jonathan Joseph. So, you guys might actually struggle a bit. Bradley Roby, you're solid in Denver. I'm not sure if he's going to come in and play that big of a role there. And of course, he's going to be that second cornerback. But, it's going to hurt, man. You guys still, like I said, you guys lost to Tyrann Mathieu, who was pretty much, I know he was marked as a safety, but he was pretty much you guys' slot cornerback. And that's going to be a big hole. You guys lost Kareem Jackson, who was possibly maybe your best cornerback last year. I know you guys still got Jonathan Joseph. And like I said, man, prime Jonathan Joseph was the truth, but he's not prime Jonathan Joseph anymore. Maybe a decent and solid starter, but not that Jonathan Joseph anymore. You lost to Kevin Johnson. You guys also lost Andre Hall, So I know you guys brought in a solid starter in Tashawn Gibson, brought in the Bradley Roby, brought in Jahlil Adai. But the secondary still looks like a question mark to me. And I wouldn't be surprised if the secondary gave up a few plays, man. If the secondary gave up a few plays than you guys expected. Justin Reed, he's really good. Tashawn Gibson has been a solid starter. Jonathan Joseph starting to age, and Bradley Roby, we have to see. Man. But the front seven, in my opinion, is definitely where this defense is going to strive at. Like I said, man, when you got J.J. Watt, one of the best defensive players in the NFL, has been the top defensive player of this era. And then you got Jatavian Clowney, who for right now is still on this roster. For right now, at least he's still on the roster. You got Bernard McKinney, Pro Bowler. Whitney Merciless, we all know that he's really good. And the other players on the defensive line, like Brandon Dunning and DJ Rudder, has shown some potential to be really good. So, this defense, especially the front seven, is really good. Now, the secondary, I'm not going to say the secondary is whack, because I don't think it's whack, but I think it has potential to give up a lot of plays. And the secondary last year showed a little bit of a struggle. I mean, teams were able to throw the ball in y'all last year. And in my opinion, I think the secondary got worse. I mean, I'm not saying that it's the worst secondary in the NFL. I don't believe that, but the secondary is, it's not up there to where it was, and I think it could get thrown on a few times, man. I think a few teams are going to be able to score a lot of points on you guys, especially when it comes to big plays in the secondary. So you guys in my opinion, going to answer back on the offensive side. And you know, I reviewed the offense, and you guys know how I feel about the offense, man. This offensive line, in my opinion, might be the worst offensive line in the NFL. And like I said, man, I know you guys drafted the offensive lineman who's an offensive tackle, which I think that's huge because offensive tackles are the main ones, in my opinion, who's protecting the quarterback. But look, the guy you drafted, Titus Howard, he's not even projected to start. Excuse me. But Titus Howard, he's not even projected to start for this upcoming season. So most likely it's going to be the same offensive line from last year. Just add in Matt Khalil, who's a solid tackle. So I expect this offensive, I hate to say it, but I see Deshaun Watson getting hit repeatedly. And I'm not sure if I'm expecting him to play a full 16-game season like he did last year. I mean, the dude was injured last year. The dude was playing through injuries. But he's Deshaun Watson. We all know that he's a tough competitor. So he's not going to try to sit out. But, I mean, it's like, what can you keep on doing? I mean, Deshaun Watson is a dynamic player. He's not just going to stay in the pocket all day. Of course, I'm not saying that he can't stay in the pocket. We all know that he's an accurate quarterback in the pocket. We all know that Deshaun Watson is going to do Deshaun Watson things, to scramble, throw on a run. And I just see him getting hit repeatedly. So there's a lot of question marks going to this upcoming season. And I'm not sure if you guys are going to have the same success that you guys had last year when you guys were a playoff team last year. And I'm not sure if I can expect you guys to be the same playoff team that y'all were last year. No. But, I mean, we'll see what's good. But, I rank the offense, rank the defense. I think this is a big year for Bill O'Brien because if he has a disappointing year this year, I wouldn't be too shocked if the Houston Texans get rid of him also. I mean, they fired the GM, and they don't even plan on having a full GM, a real GM going into the season. I mean, there's a lot of question marks, man. In my opinion, I don't like to have all the distractions, all the question marks that they had going into next season. You're not sure Jalen Clowney is going to be on the team going into next season. That's huge. The offensive line doesn't look that much improved from last year. That's definitely huge. And you guys don't even have a GM. So this is not looking good, man. This is not looking good. But, it's time to rank teams, man. And, of course, this Texan team last year was a playoff team, man. They were a playoff team. Showed a lot of promise. Of course, Deshaun Watson is one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. DeAndre Hopkins may be the best wide receiver in the NFL. And you got J.J. Watt. So this team on paper should be really good. But like I said, with everything going on at the moment, so many question marks, haven't improved the offensive line, don't have that many other top targets besides Hopkins on the wide receiver position. I mean, I have to put this team in tier 3, man. I have to. I know Houston Texans fans and a lot of people in general are going they're going to bash me on this one. They're going to bash me on this one, and come with it, man. I want to hear your opinions, but look, there's too many distractions going on for this team right now to put them at that tier 2 or tier 1 team. I mean, there's too many question marks for them, especially to be a tier 1 team. And I just don't expect them to be as solid as they were last year. They lost a few people in the secondary. Yes, they replaced them, but I think a lot of the Houston Texans secondary is aging, and there's no issue with aging if they can still produce. And yeah, Jonathan Joseph and yeah, Tashaun Gibson, yeah, I think that they can produce, but will they stay healthy throughout the whole entire season? We'll have to see. Jalen Clowney, we won't even know if he's going to be there going into next season. So I just think there's too many question marks. You don't even have a real GM. I mean, it looks like a bunch of chaos going on. But, I'm not going to go crazy. You still got Deshaun Watson. You still got DeAndre Hopkins. Still have a J.J. Watt. I mean, I'm not saying that you guys can't produce. For all I know, you guys might be a Super Bowl. You guys might be in the Super Bowl this upcoming season. You guys have mad talent. I'm not saying that. Not saying you guys don't, but when it comes to teams like the Colts, the Patriots, the Chiefs, I don't see you guys in the same tier as those teams. So, yeah, I'm gonna put you guys in tier 3, and that's just how I feel. But like I said, man, this is a community. This is the phenomenal unit. I want to hear what you guys think, man. I want to hear you guys' opinion. Do you guys feel that the Houston Texans are a tier 2, tier 1 team? Maybe you guys do. Maybe that's how you guys feel. Comment down below what you guys think. But I mean, that's all I really gotta say, man. And we guys finished out the AFC South, so another division that we got out the way. Like I said, we got the AFC North out the way, got the AFC East out the way. Now we just finished the AFC South. We're rolling. So now it's on to the AFC West and the upcoming NFL team preview. So, man, it's NFL season time, man. I'm hyped, man. I've really been enjoying this. So, hopefully we can keep on going and have some, just enjoy it, man. Just enjoy everything I want to hear. Just been enjoying it all. And like I said, man, comment down below how you guys felt. But that's all I really got to say, man. If you guys enjoy NFL, NBA content, want to see some gaming content in the near future, give this video a like. And if you're new, go and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. I'm the phenomenal one, and I'm out. Deuces.